Hello everybody and welcome to your instructional video for the white sewing machine model 1409. We're going to talk about threading it, winding a bobbin, and sewing on it. So stay tuned, hit the like, and we're going to get right into it. The first thing we need to do is wind some thread onto a bobbin, so I'll show you how to do that. To start sewing, we're going to need to wind some of our thread onto our bobbin. So to do that, you have two spool pins here. So pick the one here to the right and pull it up. And then put your thread on the spool pin. Then we'll take our thread and come over here to this bobbin winding tension disc. This little silver circle is only used for bobbin winding, but it's a little tension disc, so you can see there's a space underneath that disc, and that's where your thread should lay. So bring it into the front of the circle and around the back like that, and then it's going to come over here. Then look at your bobbin and find one of the holes. Thread the thread through the inside of the hole so that it comes up out the outside like that. Comes up out the top like that, and then pull it to get rid of any slack, and then put your bobbin on the bobbin winder post like that. Then push the post over to the right. That tells the machine that it's time to start winding the bobbin. Come to the flywheel on the right side of your machine. Hold on to the outside of the flywheel and turn the inner dial towards you. That is also needed so that the machine knows not to sew, but to wind the bobbin. Hold the thread tail nice and taut, straight up. Turn the power on if it's not already, and hit the pedal. You'll see the bobbin winder will start to fill the bobbin with thread. Once you feel it's filled enough, you can stop, or you can let it fill all the way and it will know when to stop because it will hit this bumper and it will stop. Now you can clip the tail that's coming out of the hole, and you can clip anywhere to separate bobbin from the rest of the spool. And then you can take this out of the bobbin winder tension disc. You can push your post back over. You can tighten your flywheel back up the way it was by turning the inner dial away from you. And you can pull the bobbin off of the bobbin winder post. This is how it should look, nice and evenly wound. If it's not, you might want to check out my video on proper bobbin winding and what you can do to change this. Take your thread tail, it should no longer be wrapped around this circle, and bring it this way. Bring the thread through this guide on the top of the machine, like that. Now we're going to be following this diagram to finish threading it. So this is your tension area, so you're going to hold onto the thread with both hands and then bring it around these tension discs like that, taking your left hand and pulling it all the way up high so you hear that little click. Let's do that again from this angle. So take the thread in both hands and bring it in between the two tension discs. Then bring this hand all the way up until you hear that click. Then you can let go. So it comes up here, and then it's in this little spring. And then if you pull on your thread, you'll see it move that little spring. Okay, so that's this part. Now we need to come to the take-up lever, which should always be in the highest position before you start. So if it's not, like mine's not, come to the flywheel on the side of the machine and turn it towards you until that take-up lever comes all the way back up to its highest position. Now we're ready to continue threading, so we'll take the thread up and around the take-up lever. So we're coming around and back down. And again, use two hands so you can make sure that it went in there. Next, we'll bring the thread behind this silver guide, which opens to the right. So again, hold it with two hands and just slide it in there like that. It should be coming straight down. And finally, we'll thread the eye of the needle from front to back, like that. And now we can move on to inserting our wound bobbin into the bottom part. So grab this compartment and pull it off to the left. Open up this little door, and inside you will find a silver thing called your bobbin case, which has a little lever on it. So reach in, grab that lever, and pull it out. This is your bobbin case. This is what your bobbin goes into. So here's our bobbin that we wound, here's our bobbin case, but this needs to go in the right direction. So if you look at your bobbin case and you find that little slash opening, see that little slash opening right there? And see how it's going this direction. So how I like to remember this is the bobbin does not go in that direction like the slash. You flip it over so the thread's going the other way from the slash. So stick it in there and then bring the thread around through the slash, keep rotating it, hold on to it up here. Hear that little click where the thread came into this opening. You should be able to pull it and it pulls freely. Now that the bobbin is in the bobbin case, we can insert it. There's a little divot shape right here. And there's this stem that comes off of the bobbin case right here. So you line that up with that divot. Get it all lined up, and then press in the center. You should hear a click. We have one final step to finish threading this machine. We need to get the bobbin thread to come up through this oval hole on the throat plate, and we're going to use the needle to get it. So we've already threaded our needle, so hold on to that thread with your left hand, and then use your right hand to turn the flywheel on the machine towards you. Always ever only turn the flywheel towards you when the needle's threaded. Okay, so I'm turning it towards me. Now see how that thread is passing over the bobbin case? Continue turning it towards you till you see the take-up lever get to its highest position. See that little loop it started to pull up? Perfect. Now I'm going to stop turning and I'm going to pull on this one I have to get that loop to come up further so I can grab that loop. And we're ready to go. So it's coming up through that hole like we wanted, and this is good. So we're going to put both threads under the presser foot and let them rest back here to the left. Now we're threaded and ready to test the machine. So you can close the door and slide your compartment back on. Now take some fabric and place it under this. This is your presser foot. So slide the fabric under there. And then reach back here and find this lever and lower this lever down. See how that lowered the presser foot onto your fabric? Now I'm going to put my hand on the flywheel and turn it towards me. You'll see the needle go down, come back up. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit the pedal. So how this works is the harder you press, the faster it's going to sew. So I'm going to start slow. Once you're done, you can reach back and raise the presser foot. If your needle is still in the fabric, turn the wheel towards you to get it out, and then you can pull the fabric out. Now they actually put a little slash on the back of this bar that you can use as a thread cutter. And here's our stitch we just made. It looks really good. And it looks good on the back side too. So what are these other things on the machine? This is your reverse. If you press this in and hold it while you hit the pedal, the machine will stitch backwards. That's used for locking your stitches in so they don't come apart. This is your stitch length. So this is how densely packed or how loose your stitches are. 2.5 is normal. That's what we just sewed with. You can experiment with going lower for a tighter stitch, or going to 4 for a basting stitch that's loose that you intend to take out later. This is your stitch width. So if you wanted to use a zigzag, you just turn this width up and you just keep turning it up to make it a wider zigzag. This is the needle position dial. So if you turn this, your needle moves to the right. That's the center position. That's the leftmost position. This, of course, is your tension dial. If you didn't get a nice stitch and you feel you might need to adjust the tension dial, you can check out my other video on adjusting your tension for a perfect balanced stitch. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching this video on the white model 1409 sewing machine. I really hope you found this helpful in getting your machine set up. If you did, please give my video a like. I really appreciate that. And if you're into this kind of thing, please subscribe to our channel. We put on a new video every Monday and it's all about sewing deep dives. If you need any supplies for your sewing, such as bobbins, needles, thread, fabric, patterns, anything like that, head over to our website, shoppindrop.com. That's an easy way that you can support me, the shop, and the channel while you're buying sewing supplies that you already need, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much again for watching. I'd love to hear your comments down below if you have any additional questions or anything to say about this machine, and I'll see you next week for another video. Until next time, happy sewing!